Yo, TG, turn it up.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Bringing you guys another episode of Conversations with Cortez. I am so happy to bring you guys the greatest guest today. This is one of my new friends, but really awesome, just like salt of the earth type of dude. That's why I wanted to make sure that I got him on here. But you want to go ahead, give an introduction, let all the people out there know who you are?
Yeah, yeah. So I'm Matt, also known as Moondog Genetics. I've been pretty much growing since not real long, honestly, since like 2017.
Okay.
Yeah, and then breeding, I would say since last year, 2023, is when I really got into selections and just running populations and stuff like that. Yeah, we can talk about all the projects, but yeah, that's kind of about me. I love smoking.
Well, don't worry. We'll get into that later.
Yeah. I love
But
just kind of
give a
smoking
little
it up
brief
with the homies,
introduction
man.
just for the folks out there who don't know who you are. That way, get your face out there a little bit more.
That's it.
Well, man, we just had a great time at the Cup, didn't we?
We did. It was a blast. Just a lot of new faces. You were a new face. Yeah, I think me and you met up real early at the house before we even got to the Cup. But
because your buddies with Dude Where's My Bong, so you came through. We had like Airbnb.
Good buddies with Sean. Shout out to Sean.
I just did that whole like old school, like early 2000s episode of MTV Cribs. Did you?
Oh
catch
yeah,
that
the Cribs. Yeah, I watched that. That was epic, dude. That gave me like total like 2000 vibes. Like
oh, I know. I brought it back to
like Ludacris or something.
I brought it back like we were gonna bring back the Superman dime bags. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Trying to make America 325 again. You hear me?
Yes, sir.
But
yeah, man, it's good to be on here with you. So, I know it's been a minute since, not real long since the Cup, but since we chatted. So I'm glad that we can share.
What's actually kind of funny, while I'm talking to you here, I'm actually smoking on some of your stuff, man. I got some of that Super Silver Haze right here.
Oh, awesome! Yeah. I'm actually into it myself.
I'm a sucker for some sativa.
Yeah, I'm. That's my vibe too, man. Like I'm a sativa hybrid guy all day.
Well, I'm so hyper to begin with. I'm kind of like high strung, so it's like I don't want to get turned down. Turn me up.
Yeah, same. I honestly, I'm kind of I'm a big believer of you got to smoke kind of what's your vibe. If you're a person that's just been a long day or you have a lot of pain and could be from injury or whatever, hit your indicas. But I love it just jives with my personality, just doing some uplifting creative high, and I play guitar too, so
hell yeah. Well, I mean, I think at the same time with the plant, it's kind of like situational, because obviously if I got to wake up at 4:30 the next morning to go to work,
very much so,
smoke some sativa that's going to keep me up till like 2 a.m. But at the same time, you know what I mean? If it's like Saturday, I'm running around, I'm doing some errands, I'm going to the zoo, I'm going to Navy Pier, I'm doing whatever. It's kind of nice. It's like that. I kind of like that good time weed. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's kind of like what I like to grow. I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Go get into some trouble.
Oh, for sure. For sure. But so kind of what's your favorite kind of smokes? Like, is it those type of highs and strains?
Well, I mean, like I said, like it's pretty much situational. Like, okay. I don't know, like everybody's probably going to rag on me in the comment section down below. But to be honest with you, my like favorite strain, which if anybody out there has a cut, I'll pretty much give you whatever you want. But it's neither here nor there. You can no longer find the Blue Dream. And
Oh yeah,
people are
the
like,
Santa Cruz
"Oh, that's
cut.
played out. That was so overdone, blah blah blah." But like honestly, with me and Blue Dream, it's just like when even just that distinct ass smell that it's got. Like if I smell a bag of Blue Dream, smoke some of it, it takes me back to like I started like how like with music you were talking about being like a guitar guy. You know how it's like you can hear a song that even if you hear it today, it'll bring you back somewhere like 20 years ago and like you'll remember what you were doing.
Oh yeah,
Might
absolutely.
even, when you get those memories where it's almost like you can like smell what was going on like while it was happening.
You could smell a memory or something.
Right. So like with Blue Dream, it's kind of like that nostalgia factor with me. But at the same time, I mean, as far as like the indica side, I've been getting into more of like the pungent and kind of like morose kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like
Oh yeah,
some of them baby shit terps,
like MD, GMO, those
the
very
chems, the
funky. Yeah,
sours.
even a good TK is pretty funky to be like a good triangle kush. I don't know who I had this conversation with the other day, but it was like it might have even been you, but it was like a good triangle kush and sour and OG. They all
Oh yeah,
have
that was me because you remember I was talking about how man you get some stuff like that just kind of grabs you by the boo
I
boo.
feel like they're from the same parents too. They got to have the same, like, you know what I mean? Like TK, we don't know a whole lot about, but I feel like
Meanwhile, down in Florida,
yeah, man, it was in the circles, the bunch of the
yeah, some Florida man type lore behind that one.
yeah, Matt. Supposedly the story is, and I'll keep it short, but Matt, he was known as Bubba. It was him and Josh D who he got it out to on the West Coast, but I know it was Bubba and a few other guys that were at the University of, I want to say it was Tallahassee, FSU. Yeah, so like the Seminoles, but
It sounds
it was
about right.
grown in a dorm room, my friend. Grown in a dorm room. And so one of his friends said, "This smells like Kushberries." And so Kush, that's how it apparently all began. But yeah, man, Florida, the roots of OG for sure.
The roots of most insanity for the country.
Yeah, for sure.
In recent news, Florida man.
Oh, I know. Oh,
I got a lot of family in Florida, though.
me
I've spent years of my life out there. So if anybody out there thinks that I'm trying to like rag on Florida right now, like no, you can ask about me in Port St. Lucie County. You can ask about me in Port St. Lucie County.
Yeah, I'm from Panama City, so like the Redneck Riviera is what we call it. And
Oh hell yeah!
I still love Florida, man. But I'm a
Well,
mountain guy
here's
through
how
and through
I
now.
break up Florida. It's like if you're in the north of Florida, it's like you're still in the south. If you're in central Florida, it's like you're in a retirement community. And if you're like south, you're pretty much like in some type of like bohemian culture.
Yeah, completely.
It's actually kind of cool though, because my wife, her family's originally from Haiti. She's of Haitian descent, so they're still down in like Miami, Pompano area. I got family in Tampa. I got family in Port St. Lucie. So if we want to go down there for like a Thanksgiving or something like we just did like 2 years ago, we just fly from Midway to Fort Lauderdale, get off of Fort Lauderdale, get a rental car, and then who are we going to first? Okay, they're about an hour drive this way. Okay, then 2 hours back a little further north the other way. So it's like we can hit both of them.
Yeah, just family hopping, huh?
Yep. Go. We did the actual Thanksgiving dinner with her family, and then the day after we did like a dinner with one of my uncles. It was actually kind of like my closest uncle growing up, so that was her first time meeting him. He actually passed since then, so I'm really glad that my wife got to meet him and everything. It was actually kind of funny though. I had to bust him out of the VA, out of the Veterans Hospital.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they kept him in there for like a week, but he was a stubborn old bastard. He did 3 tours in Vietnam. He was one of the original Green Berets. He ended up getting
Wow.
scratched by like a neighborhood dog, but I guess the dog had some type of like virus in it.
Oh no.
So when it scratched his leg, and the guy'd been fighting cancer for like 20 years on top of it, but that wasn't what took him out. But the dog scratched his leg and it started going like sepsis, whatever that is. But he was so stubborn. He had like that special forces training. So he literally ripped the scab off and poured lacquer thinner in it. I guess it started ballooning up, and eventually his wife ended up forcing him to go to the hospital, but he insisted that he drove himself the hour and a half down to West Palm.
That's a next level gent there for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean by the end, like even when we seen him, he had like the oxygen mask. He could walk, but he still had like the scooter thing, and you know the VA actually set him up pretty nice. They had him like the thing where it was like the minivan where like you just drive on it, and the van like puts the scooter away by itself. But even in that like roto rascal with the oxygen mask, like that. Make no mistake, that man was still as dangerous as a rattlesnake.
For sure. Yeah, Florida's definitely a
well, one of the gems of the country.
For sure. You kind of have to love. You gotta love.
I still can't get over it. Oh, I almost just put this on camera. I'm trying to age restrict myself, but I can't do that. But man, the super silver haze that I got from you, and it's such a funny story how I got it from you because you had it in like the big Pringles cans.
Oh yeah. So I intended to kind of bring it in glass jars, you know. And the wife like last minute started making like baby food we have like she's almost a year old baby girl, Iris. Love you, baby.
Oh yeah, happy Father's Day, by the way.
Yeah,
this won't come out today, but we are recording on Father's Day. So to all the fathers in the community that are in your children's lives, big shout out to you.
Yeah, happy Father's Day, everybody. But yeah, she was making baby food, and she ended up putting it in the glass jars. And so I'm like, well, I'm taking these. They're like what you get baby formula, the powder formula in.
Yeah, like Similac or whatever.
Well, they're like metal tins, and they're really good storage. They're not going to put baby food in that and let it expire within, you know. So I was like, well, I'll just take these things, you know. And I threw some like Bovita packs or whatever, Bovita packs in there just to kind of, you know. But and I knew it was going to get opened a lot, so and I like the moisture a little bit higher, even if I'm bringing it, because I know, you know, off gassing it the whole time. By the time everybody's getting it home and stuff like that, it's going to be just about perfect. So, but yeah, man, it was a Konqueror.
It's actually kind of funny because I did the math the opposite way. I was like, oh, this is probably like still drying. So like I was almost going like with the old school like paper bag tech, cardboard box tech of like drying. It's like, damn, I just dried this out, but I gotta travel, so I don't want it to like
Colorado crumble
up, so it's gotta like off gas a little bit, everything, you know.
That Colorado crumble is so dry here. I mean, here in like Arizona, any of these states where the humidity is just like non-existent. So I'm like, man, I'm just gonna throw some packs in there. It probably would have been fine without it, but
see, that's kind of the funny thing here in Chicago. If it's the summertime, we can be at like 60-70% humidity. But at the same time, in the winter, it's like a fucking desert, dude. It can be like 14% humidity. It's ridiculous. So we go from one extreme to the next.
Yeah, isn't that how it is, though? In like kind of like the Midwest, West. I mean, we're not on the West Coast in Colorado, but you know, that kind of western, you know, frontier.
That's definitely westward bound from where I'm at, sir.
But yeah, the Pringles.
We ended up driving, me and the wife. We were gonna fly, but that got messed up, so we had to make an adjustment. But I was messing with her because she was kind of like, you know, being a little out of hand for like the 15-hour, 1,000-hour drive. But we had the cat in the car too. Like, Jesus Christ, woman, you make like we're headed west by covered wagon. We don't got to traverse blanket ass engines on the way there. We'll be fine.
Miss Cortez, she was such a delight, man. Meeting her at the house and just chatting it up. She's awesome. Shout out to
She's
her.
definitely a gem. She's
Yeah.
definitely a gem.
So
Great
the
woman.
Conqueror, how did you get the? I'm personally curious. I was gonna ask you that.
Yeah.
I know, like I guess the addition to Cortez. How did that come about?
So that's actually really funny. Not too many people have asked me about that, but so like the whole Cortez the Conqueror thing, it's actually I don't know the fancy. There is a name for it, but it's basically like a comparison or whatever. But Conqueror, it kind of like embodies just like making mistakes in your past, but then making the best out of your future. So like Cortez the Conqueror, it's kind of like even if you get it put into a bad situation to like still come out on top okay. Not only okay, but you have the upper hand.
I like that. Like you're not gonna get
So it's like
defeated by struggle.
conquering your surroundings, conquering your environment, not only conquering, but then overcoming as well.
Yeah, like not getting defeated by struggle. Like saying, "Yeah, I got you, man."
No.
I love that, bro.
What did I say? When the going get tough, the tough get going. Sometimes you just got to crack some heads and kick some ass out here, you know.
Yeah. Full on like what Wayne Gretzky or
Right.
Yeah, I got you, man.
I don't know. Like, see, so I'm second generation for the United States. My mom's side, I'm half Austrian. So,
oh, cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I grew up like a little different. I basically had like the traditional like European immigrant upbringing, you know, so a little harder. We are Austrian, but we come from like a Slavic bloodline. So we're not German, even though we're Austrian, which is a common misconception. But I just totally lost my train of thought. Oh no! So my grandma had 9 kids. My mom is the second youngest of 9, and she was 31 when she had me. So like my oldest uncle right now is 80 years old. It's actually my birthday a week from today. I'm about to be 37, but I still kind of got the mentality of like a 50, 60-year-old person sometimes, just because like I was kind of like raised by my grandparents, like more than my parents, you know what I mean?
I feel you. I was raised a lot by my grandparents. I mean, my parents too, but I spent a lot of time in my early years with my grandparents and my older uncles. Oh, yeah. So I'm an old soul, man. I feel that.
Oh yeah, like not only old soul, but the ways of the Catholic immigrant are strong.
Oh, okay.
Right, wrong, or indifferent. That is my morals. That is my value system. Hey man, you know what I got the last of, and I cannot show it, but I can show you this. This I don't know if the camera picked it up, but this is the last bowl pack of the Jaren weed, of that weed that Jaren gave me. We smoked some of it at the house, remember?
Yeah, I think we did.
Yeah, that unicorn poop.
Yeah. Oh man, that strain. That's a
Jaren can throw his ass off, bro.
Yeah, that Thug Pug. That's one of his classic, like beloved ones for sure. Besides his like garlic breath, and all the Mendo stuff. But yeah, Jaren can grow, man. He's got some good stuff. A lot of people at the Cup I met that I had personal flower from was pretty good. You know what I mean?
Here, let me ask you this. Let's kind of do like a little bit of like a Cup recap, right?
Yeah.
So do you remember like specifically, do you want to give like any shout outs for like maybe like anybody that competed in the Cup, or maybe just like some bomb
for sure
that you've seen out there? Like who was bringing the day? Like call them out.
Let's
drop some names, man.
All right, I'll drop some names. To me, I think I had a lot of the flour at the table, and then like Spacey gave me some personal flour, like his Colorado cupcake. I had the Queen of the South, which I think is a relentless genetic thing that he found. And then his Boulder back road. Anything that guy usually does is epic. He's good. His weed was really good. And then Duke Diamond. Anytime you come across that guy,
Duke Diamond, legit.
His weed is good, man. I don't know what he's doing with it, but that's for sure. Yeah, those two guys for sure really impressed me. I think the first place, Dusty, is that who won? Dusty's with the black maple, maybe. I think that was a really good. It was like a really good pheno, and it's all gas in that strain. So that the number one, whoever won first place, man, you the living soil guy.
I know. Hey, shout out to who won. You did that. Uh-oh. Oh, there he is.
Sorry, like a lot there for a minute.
Technical difficulties. But no, I was saying big shout out to number one, whoever won. I know Taken Tops came in second.
Yeah,
But,
his monkey.
that was kind of with that monkey spunk, but that was kind of the thing about this year. I guess they were saying that like they did a better job of running like a clandestine operation with like the entries and everything.
Yeah.
Than some people will say complained in years past or whatever. So it was like more of like weed contests. They kind of took like the popularity contest portion out of it. But if you look through that top 10, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not really people who like got names,
Yeah, no, it's
not people who do. Like, I remember I forget what number he came in, but he was doing like his like awards, like acceptance speech. And they were like, oh, where did you like get your genetics? He's like, oh, I got it at the grow store.
At the
like,
grow store. I love
he said
that.
something like, oh, yeah, like I was picking up a couple bags of dirt. I figured, fuck it. I'll just grab a pack of seeds. Like, come on, let's do this. And he went up with like crazy ass pheno.
Yeah.
That's a great story.
I definitely want to give a shout out to, we can get into a little bit of JR talk if you want to. I'm glad that guy.
Hell yeah. Talk to JR. He's made it through surgery. He's good.
Yeah, and
JR,
my brother for sure. I got he gave me his Mega OG, and that's something. You know, we thought there was a mix up. We thought it was going to be the Cherry Paloma because that's something that I've been kind of wanting for a while.
Yeah.
Which I got the pink Paloma now, so I think my hunt. I don't really. It'll be fine not to have the cherry because I'll have it in the cross. But he gave me the Mega OG, which I'm going to start a project on soon. So be on the lookout for that. Going to cross it to one of my Carini males and, have some of that Pine Sol Martian candy in the OG. So it's going to be
here, let me, I don't mean to cut you off, bud, but here, let me kind of switch gears here. Let's switch away from the cup a little bit and kind of focus more on like your breeding and whatnot, just so we can get into that a little bit more. So like if somebody were to look up Moondog Genetics, what's some of the stuff that you have available right now? Like what's some of the strains and offerings that are out there available to the public?
Sure. Well, right now I don't really have a seed catalog. That's kind of what I'm kind of compiling.
Okay.
I will in the next 3 to 6 months. I'll have F2s of the Carini. And people are like, what is Carini? But I'm a big fish head, and Carini is like one of their recent songs. It's just, crowd favorite. And it's a cross of Goji OG by Bodhi Seeds, and which is a Pine Sol cut. It's kind of a piney, gassy OG. And then I crossed that to a male Martian Candy. And usually, like, if you're looking at the cross, it's female first and then male. So the donor was the Martian Candy male, and it was just a really good one I found out of the pack. Nice. And so I will be offering up cuts of that, in the next month or so, whenever it finishes up in here, and I can kind of see, what's going on and all. But I'll
definitely put my name on one of them, man.
Yeah.
And I definitely want to give you a shot here and see what I can do with them in a little super soil I got. But I'm far from organic, though. I'm running salts on top of my livings.
I'm a Synganic guy. I'm kind of a mixed bag. I I use Canna for my cocoa. I love using New Millennium for like a lot of the flower boosting sweeteners and stuff like that. I use Super Thrive still, that really old, it's like the oldest ingredient. It has like B vitamins and like kelp and all this great stuff in it. But yeah, I'm kind of a mixed bag, dude. I think do what works for you. If you found
it's whatever you have the best success with.
Yeah.
What you out there, and I'm talking to all you in YouTube land.
Oh, fingers over the camera.
You know what I mean? That's like, okay, so kind of like one of the things that I do as far as like social media and like the stuff that I put out, I give people exactly what I do. Like I don't hold stuff back. Like I'll give people my exact method. The people that follow me, and like I'll even make like little reels to where it's almost like a step by step everything. And then there'll be times to where I'll have people like try to debate what I do, but it's like
Oh, I hate that.
you can look at my Instagram, and
It,
what I'm telling you,
it
that
works.
is how I got everything below this. So
Exactly.
if you want to get something similar to those results, you
Do
can even
this.
modify this. You can do whatever works best for you.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
like me personally, I've tried to grow in cocoa, and like, bro, I was get like, no, it looked like a Charlie Brown Christmas tree. My stuff was yellow. I got these little popcorn
Yeah.
bugs. I was getting like weird lockout issues. I see people killing cocoa. I
Yeah.
mean, there's 1,000 ways to skin a cat. There's
I'll be
probably
honest.
there's 100 different ways to germinate a seed. But guess what? As you're trying different things out and you're buying 5-pack, 10-pack of seeds, you notice, hey, out of this 5-pack of seeds, I germinated this way and I got 4 out of 5 of my seeds to pop. I tried what Joe Schmo on the internet told me that he has great success with, but 2 out of my 5 seeds popped. I highly advise you to stick with the one where you got the 4 out of 5.
Exactly.
Because what works for me isn't going to work for you,
Yeah.
isn't going to work for the next person, isn't going to work for Tom, Dick, and Hank down the street.
So, like, the advice is trial by error, guys. You know, experiment.
Trial by fire.
Yeah, and don't run. If I got advice too, don't run something once and just call it a day. I know a lot of people will like go to flower with something and it's not what they expected. You know, at first the terps were really loud, maybe, but they get it to flower and they have some problems and they just want to call it quits. But you know, especially if it's from seed, if you're running something from seed, it's not going to be, you know, a few clones down the road, that's not going to look like the same flower it was from seed at all. I mean, you know, usually it changes from
genetic drift is real, my friend.
so well, just the clone from seed too. It's just so different looking, but the genetic drift too. So, but
a lot of times I get stuff THC tested that I grow out, and people are like, "Oh, THC doesn't matter. This, that, another." Like, but see, here's the thing. Like, so for one, the main thing, I'm competitive as hell. So like, I even find ways to compete with myself. So like, growing a strain out multiple times, I'll go take it to get tested. So that's basically like my score. So it's like I want to see if I can beat my high score.
Yeah, I got you.
My personal record as it stands at the moment was a 28% sativa dominant variety. It was the sangria slushy from Lit Farms. But
that looks great.
that's kind of my own ego. That's kind of just my own megalomania, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm over here like a fucking Bond villain.
It's
but no,
always cool.
Here's the thing that's really nice when you're testing your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that genetic drift because, you know, if your stuff varies like 1 or 2%, so if that 28% went down to 26%, you know, harvested, dried, and everything, that's, you know, within the threshold, especially if I still want to keep the strain around. But then let's say something that I know was smacking at 28%, all of a sudden it's like, this isn't what it used to be. But then, you know, it's like, am I getting like a tolerance to this? No, it just dropped down to 22% because it was the Xerox copy of the Xerox copy of the Xerox copy of the Xerox.
Well, I think a lot of that too is just if your environmental controls, if you have everything the exact same and you're getting different, like your THC is getting different from, you know, time to time. I really don't know how, like, I don't really know how that would be. So you would think that would be genetic drift then, right? Is that what you're saying? Is if the THC drops, I would think it would be like an environmental. But if it's the same every time, it's kind of hard.
The longer you clone something, the weaker it's going to get, the more finicky it's going to get. Because when you take a clone, that new cut isn't going off the age at the time you take that cut. That cut is still the age from when the
From the
seed was
mom. Yeah, the age is
and
from the
once
mom.
you take the clone of the clone, like just imagine, I think I actually heard ICANN THC give this I guess analogy before. But he said that like if you take like a piece of paper, like a picture or something, and you put it on a copy machine, and then you take the copy that comes out and you Xerox that. So it's kind of like the more times that
Yeah,
you're
I mean, it
making a
definitely
copy
makes.
of the copy of the copy of the copy.
There's definitely has to be something in that. I think number one though is if you're keeping everything sterile 100%, you're still probably going to get some success with it. I mean,
Oh
you
yeah,
know what I
what's
mean?
up?
You're still going to get some fireweed. There's still people smoking cuts from, early 2000s.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I think I heard
The sour that I have is from 2000. So yeah.
I was watching something and it was Kyle Cushman on it. And Kyle Cushman was talking about how he's still got a strawberry cough cut from like 30 years ago.
Yeah, from his buddy in New York. I love that story, man. He's like,
But you
come
know,
down.
with me, I don't really take like true mom, so I think I get less of like half life because
Mhm.
I'm more in the school of take your cut, grow it out to 18 inches, get your good 8 to 10
I got
cuts,
flip it.
cut down the rest, going
Okay.
in a hefty bag outside. I hefty bag moms.
Yeah. Yeah, you can grow things too there, like veg. I mean, there's a potential. There's a certain like potential at each level where it's even if VPD is met, you're only going to get so much growth because of genetics within this line, before you need to flip it. I have a Chernobyl that I probably vegged for 2 months, and it's not going to get, and that's from Subcool Genetics, got some train wreck in there. But it didn't take as much after the train
That
wreck. So, I
sounds
mean, it probably won't get over 3 feet tall in flower. So, a lot of it
nice
is
stout
just
little indica
genetics.
though, or what?
Do what?
I said nice stout little indica though, or what?
It is. It took more after the indica leaning on the Chernobyl. And that one I've had for a little bit, some seeds of for a little bit. Just very like, green lime slurpy terps. I love that. So,
Those are the ones that surprise you sometimes because it's like, what's this dinky little thing doing while you got these
the
sativa
huge growing sativa.
shooting, and then you just got this little thing that's like bowing
Yeah,
out like it's like a jungle gym or something over there.
for sure.
And then that'll be like just that stout little plant. It's like this thing was a little over a half a pound. What the hell?
And growing things from seed, you're going to get all kind of, when you get
Oh yeah.
cuts,
Yeah.
you get a lot of cuts, you can kind of get that canopy pretty even. You know what I mean? Get the height on, kind of on point. And,
Oh yeah, especially like that's kind of something I've gotten into a little bit more as I've gotten away from autos a bit. I got some going right now. But that's actually something I've definitely been digging on lately is doing like a space to where the entire space is the same cut. So you know what I mean?
yes,
Maybe in like a 4x4,
absolutely. Yeah.
I got like 4 5 gallons, you know what I mean? And then I'm double scrogging those. So all the training becomes a lot more seamlessly, and I'm just getting like wall to wall canopy.
A-tops. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's great. That's
Same,
when
same cut, but not only that, I'm vegging them out a bit and watching them to see which clones, which roots are showing the same vigor too. So everything just taking the best of the best and throwing those in the room, double scrog.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know JR says that all the time, like take notes, and even what is it, Roach from Athena, that guy, I saw an interview from him recently on YouTube, and he is like, if you can make minor adjustments and take notes of every little thing from each like harvest or each grow, whatever,
Oh, yeah.
you're gonna improve. But a lot of people, they'll put inputs in, they'll change them a lot, they'll have all these environmental variables, and then they'll come out with good flower, but they just don't know how to improve. And I'm like, dude, take notes. Like, I know that sounds dumb, like we're going to school, but like, making any little adjustments is so big.
You should
You
see
got
what
you got to think one day one day for like a flowering day for a plant is like 10 years, you know, for them is like 10 years to us. So any little adjustments are really critical. You know what I mean? So
Progress, not
yeah.
perfection. Progress, not perfection.
But yeah, and if you want to, I know something I was thinking about we could talk about. As far as like breeding goes, I know a lot of people have questions about like selfing and reversing. Those are kind of the same thing. Um, if you reverse a female and put it on itself, you are essentially selfing it. You know what I
All right,
mean?
so
So
let's
you're gonna
get
get
into that a
feminized
little bit
seeds.
more from like a layman's term. So you're saying basically, if somebody wanted to like keep their genetics around and
Right.
they wanted to basically take a plant and make seeds from that plant, what would the process be? Are you using colloidal silver? Are you
Yeah, there's
what are you
people
doing?
the old OGs can even stress it to get some seeds that are basically self seeds. They'll be feminized.
Just go
But
way
the
past that
modern
breeder recommendation.
my recommendation, that is not something good because that will stress the plant too. But that's what the old timers did back in the day. Yeah, reversal spray, STS, some colloidal silver, that'll do the job. And then, like 5 weeks down the road, 6 weeks down the road, not 4 for sure. You'll see development at 3 and 4, but 6 weeks down the road, you'll have seeds, and those will be when you reverse, yeah, there'll be S1 seeds basically, yeah. So you'll reverse the plant with the colloidal silver, and then it'll become a male, and then that male will put pollen on itself. You'll have more females of the same thing in the room, and then those seeds will be S1s basically. So
Okay. Could you even do it on the same plant if you kind of made this one nut up on you and kind of like sprinkled it
yeah, I
on
mean,
another one?
it wouldn't. The only time it's selfed is if it's from the same. It's the same mom and dad basically. That's why
Oh,
it's
okay.
selfed. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Like
Could I even, let's say I got a mother plant and I were to take two cuts, get both of those to root, could I take one of the cut, turn that
reverse.
into male basically, and just smack it
Yeah,
to
that's reversing. Yeah, when
itself?
you get the male pollen from reversing it, or when you get the male parts, you're not S1ing it yet until you hit it with the female. I think I confused some people a minute ago. I'm a little stoned too, so but you have to reverse it, make pollen, and then hit it to itself to get the S1 seeds, which are reversed F1s, because that if you're still working that general first line, that first cross up, yeah, so.
Doing like
I
what do they call it? The pundit square and everything?
The pundit square, yes. I think that is it. Man, this
With
guy over here, all these notes. But and shout out to Sean Cron, but my one of my good mentors and buddies, Sean Cron on IG, he's like a pheno hunter too. He told me that S1's really they're really stable first off because it's mom and dad, you know. Um, from the selfie, you're getting 100% of that, but you're also so you got stability, but you also open that gene pool a little bit more, so you're able to,
Bro, the
you know,
recessive gene.
yeah, you're gonna get that. You're gonna get more of what that is, whatever you self it. So if you
All of a
self the
sudden, one
ivory,
of them's gonna get pulled out with like red hair and freckles because of like
maybe
their great
and those will
grandpa
all
from
be,
back in the day.
yeah, those are. If you see a few that have that, those are all recessive traits.
Mm-hmm.
When you find those, and if those are something that's desirable, that's when you start breeding. That's called that's the selection process. When you say,
Right.
hey,
When you
all
find
these,
that one
this,
thing that's really special, it's like, man, I could do something with this here.
I mean, yeah, and that's kind of where I'm at. As like, I know I'm not the best grower. I mean, I got a lot of techniques. I've been cultivating for like, a few. I was in Denver before we moved to the Springs at Colorado Harvest Company, Green Stativa for a few years and stuff.
Oh,
And
so you're not only just home grow, you've got like some
yeah,
commercial cultivation experience on the resume.
Yeah. I started off. Me and my
Okay,
wife
big
moved.
ups, big ups.
Yeah, we moved to Colorado in like it was like 2021 maybe. So just a few years ago, honestly. And I was started at Green Stativa and was there for a little over a year. And just what you really realize is what you don't want your plants to come out looking like, that commercial look. Where some of them's going to have PM, some of them there's going to be larfy buds, and that's okay. Sometimes, I mean, if you have larf, you're going to figure out how to make it to where you're going to grow a better plant to fix that problem. But when you're on a
Or
commercial
you can
setting,
use that larf and turn it into extracts. I mean,
or that,
me
yeah.
personally.
But when you're on a commercial setting and it's
We're
just
kind of like a whole hog operation over here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true for all the what is it, the edibles and stuff you make with it. That's probably
Edibles.
actually
I mean, you can make
tinctures and stuff. Yeah.
rosin, tincture.
But like, I guess on a commercial setting, you
Go ahead and
seeing
press some of that shit, dude.
rows and rows of larf, you do not want to see that. But at home, you just learn. You're going to learn more at home from your mistakes than you are on a commercial level. I'm a big believer in that. And just researching and learning after like your peers that, maybe have been doing it longer, like JR, with all his crazy, I mean, that guy's a guru with like pretty much everything he does. And
that's who I go to for advice. That's like, actually, you want to hear something funny? I think we mentioned it earlier. I went through like a spider mite issue. I never had them before, so I didn't know what the hell they were. I'm like freaking out. I'm talking to JR. He was actually the one that JR Token's the one that diagnosed my spider mites. I took like a jeweler's loop. Like you can, what do you get them for? Like maybe $8 on Amazon.
Yeah.
You can hold a jeweler's loop like over your camera thing right here. And then that's like an $8 way that you just turned your phone into like a microscope. But I got up on one of those things. I sent it to JR. I'm like, bro, what the hell is this? He's like, that, my friend, is a 2-spotted spider mite. I'm like, motherfucker.
Those are the worst. Not really. To be honest with you, they're really not the worst. You get a whole bunch of thrips and stuff. This shit goes south real quick. They eat your leaves and stuff. That shit goes. So.
Well, I didn't realize until
root aphids too. My bad.
I didn't realize that I had spider mites until I couldn't just write the leaf mining off as a deficiency anymore because I had spider webs on my shit.
Oh yeah, like that's full on like breeding grounds on the plant. Right?
Oh, bro, it was bad, but I actually did kill them off, and I still got to harvest. And I dealt with a serious light leak issue too. Mm-hmm. It's actually kind of funny. That's what was in the chicken wings.
Dude, those chicken wings were lit. That's all I know.
Oh, dude, I got some of the weed right here. Like, great, fucking nice, terpy weed. The Orange Sherbet Runs. Big shout out to Busby in Chicago. Big shout out to Fonzo. But with that one, well, it was nearly impossible, but I did end up being able to eradicate them, but it was from switching off between Trifecta to Neem to Lost Coast, and I was basically cycling with those 3 sprays, but then I released probably somewhere around like 5,000 ladybugs combined. Went in with predatory mites, and I went in with rove beetles as well. Vicious little fuckers there. You ever employed some of them rove beetles, man?
No, I've been really, really lucky to have just had some small issues with spider mites and fungus gnats. Every once in a while.
I thought them ladybugs were. I mean, they look cute and cuddly, but like honestly, predator in the garden, ladybugs. I thought those things were like savage until I seen those rove beetles.
Yeah, yeah.
Those things are like Sicilian assassins.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of that stuff. Like that.
They
That's
actually come
if
with
it
a
doesn't. If
warning, like when
ladybugs
you
don't work,
release
that's the
these,
way.
if they get big enough, like watch out because they'll bite the hell out of you. Like even a human, they'll bite the hell out of you.
So that's like the next level of security after ladybugs. Or if you
Oh
just
yeah.
want to drop it early and be like, I'm done with all this shit.
Well, I mean, IPM's cool because that's like your defense. So now that I got everything under control, really just doing the Lost Coast, maybe an occasional neem just to switch it up and put like that little like leaf gloss on my stuff before I do go into flower.
And that's what I'm gonna switch to too. Just I know JR has a lot of success with it, and his gardens are always really on. And if you're saying everybody that I talked to has had really good success with Lost Coast, and I've done the Athena IPM with crop control, the trifecta stuff like you have, and it's worked. But again, I haven't had too many problems. Like a lot of my pest issues were like kind of like earlier on, like when I was doing soil and less cocoa. Like I've had a lot less problems in cocoa. Mostly like, you're just gonna have.
I've heard some horror stories about fungus gnats in cocoa.
You can.
I think it depends on what you buy. You kind of get what you pay for.
You can get your fungus gnats in cocoa if you buy cocoa that is not like, like ultra filtered process, like from a really good supply, like vendor or whatever. You're gonna, you can potentially, and sometimes even get them from reputable people. You can run into like some larvae or something in there. Yeah.
Or somebody try to go the cheap route.
Oh yeah, with the
and then they'll like send you a message. What is this? Why did it happen? And you'd like start to ask more questions. Well, I got this like $8 20 pound bag. It's like, what did you think was going to happen? Well, why did you choose that one? Why didn't you go with something a little bit better? And then like people snap at you for asking well, I'm on a budget.
I know, right?
It's like, okay, well, if you can't afford like everything, I would say just to start a grow, like you should have at least $2,000-$3,000 put up. Like not only for equipment, for genetics, for lights, fans, dirts, pots, saucers, humidifiers, dehumidifiers. The money that it's going to put on your electricity bill until the time that you get to harvest. Like you can't just like, oh, I bought this $200 light on Amazon and like I'm gonna.
Or if you're like a traditional grower with the HPS or metal halides, like Bucci, my brother on IG, shout out to him, Matt.
I do.
Bucci. Yeah. He's a traditional grower, and you're talking cost on that alone, like you're talking like $300-$400 if you're in like a 2,000 square foot house alone, like with that old school setup. So the LEDs though, even if you're running a few LEDs, you're gonna like, I have 2 downstairs and 2 upstairs. Well, actually 3 upstairs and 2 downstairs. But I mean,
you're gonna add about $100 a tent to the light bill.
It does. I agree with
it's
that.
about $100 a ton a month. It's about $100 a ton a month.
So I mean, yeah, the cost can get up for sure. But I mean, you can kind of, the things you don't want to skip on for sure, I would say, are your genetics.
Do not buy dirt from Walmart. Do not buy dirt from Home
Miracle
Depot.
Grow.
If you are thinking about buying any soil from Home Depot right now, go to the bathroom, look in the mirror, and strangle yourself.
Yes,
stop.
Absolutely. Or like some of the products there, like some of their emulsions, where is it coming from? Their fish emulsions, like I don't even know, man. I don't dabble with any of that. I get mine from a lot of the people that some of our vendors or people we hang out with on here.
Who knows?
But yeah, man. What so if you have to have, I guess, a like an all-time smoke, deserted island smoke, or what's your go-to? I always like to ask that question.
Wait, ask it again. I didn't.
Like if you only had like one, let's just say one strain, or like if you were on a deserted island, like on Hawaii, where let's just say Hawaii, because that's as Shankran says, that's the best environment for growing. You're near the tropics, the equator. You got all the environmental controls outside, and all this. So, what would be your what would be your one strain if you had to have? That hits a lot of
So
boxes, maybe like
right. So
medicinally.
I'll actually tell you that, and I've actually kind of been leaning towards this strain too. Just as kind of like my just like normal like mundane smoke, so I don't like flip out and like strangle somebody or like want to get into like road rage incident.
Yeah.
But the animal mint cake or some type of like animal mint, animal
Okay.
cake, something like that.
I love that.
I actually competed, not this cup that passed, but the year previous. I competed with the Tiki Madman cut of the animal mint cake. And it's like that, like little, it's almost like vanilla, but it's got like a little, if I say piff, do you know what I mean? Like that little.
Oh yeah, like the New York piff.
Yeah, it's kind of got like a little piff, a little mint, that earthiness.
It's definitely
Have you ever smelled like an animal mint or like an animal cake? You know what I'm talking about? Like
I've actually grown some crosses
like
out
a vanilla piff kind of smell.
and they have that really
unique
cakey like heaviness for sure. Anything I'm a fan of anything like Kush mints, to be honest. Like anything.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I think for me, honestly, would probably be just a really proper batch of sour. I just want to be happy all day, floaty, talking to everybody like I do you, homie, and everybody else, you know. So
see, I'm not gonna lie though. So we got into a little bit about the sativas before. Like honestly, sometimes there's weed situational. Sometimes I like to be a little scared. Sometimes I like that sativa that makes me a little paranoid. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we did talk about that. I want to be like out the blinds, you know, like peeking as the cops come. Like, is it GTA?
Window Nintendo?
The helicopters are going around, and you're like, oh gosh, can't handle this right now.
Or you're like freaking out in the middle of Target because you tried to smoke a little bowl in the car like it was cool. Now you're in the home goods section questioning your life choices.
Yes, I haven't been quite at that's the home station there, but more at like the tire shop or oil change, and I'm like, what am I doing here? You know,
that's like when you know you're a little too high before you walk in somewhere. It's like, ooh, I'm a little uncomfortable.
Don't you love that though? Like,
but then the edible kicks in, and it's like, bitch, you thought you were high before. Get over
now
it.
You're high. Yeah. I always love that though. Like you'll like be at the house and you're like, I'm just smoking like my usual all day, and then I leave and then I realize how high I am. Like, you know, like when I go out, like not like, you know, or whatever, walk, you know, whatever you're doing activity, but
run errands, whatever.
Yeah. Hiking. It's always my favorite.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah, man, I'm really looking forward to the DGC Cup this upcoming year. You know, shout out to all those guys.
I'm definitely going.
Put a good show on.
100% guarantee. It's gonna be June 7th.
Oh, that's the date now. Cool.
Saturday. Yeah, they actually announced it at the end of the last cup.
Okay.
But yeah, the date is, everybody save the date. Come out, see the whole community. I'm sure JR will be out next year. I'll be there. Moondog. I'm sure all the Chad Westports, Rasta Jeffs, ICANN THC. One Eye come out, see Scotty and the Dude. Soup will probably be there. You know, Jay Maestro is going to be there.
Yeah, and we'll have a lot of genetics. It'll be even more lit next year for sure.
It gets bigger every year. Like it gets so much bigger every year that from last year to this year, they had to get a bigger tent. No bullshit. All right, man. We're getting up on about an hour here, so I think we will start wrapping it up a little bit. Don't want to hold you back too much from, you know, you got the kids.
Yes.
It's Father's Day, so, you know, don't want to take too much of your time away from them. But before we end off here, did you want to give maybe any shout outs, any parting words? You definitely got to let these guys know how to get hold of you on all your socials there.
Yeah. So we'll kind of wrap it up with kind of how to contact me and what's going on with the. But yeah, if you got any questions about like any of my cuts right now, or like my seeds that'll be coming out in the next few months, the F2s, or just anything. Like I got a bunch of cuts kind of just in the library right now, like some Astropop Sourdy. Just hit me up. And then as far as shout outs, JR's like my brother. Big shout out to him. Yeah.
Biggest shout out to JR Token.
Yeah. And then shout out to Sean and Matt, Dude Where's My Bong and Bucci on my IG. And then just my wife. She's always supported me and, since, day one. And we've
The
been
women
through
that make us the men that we are.
She's been through every struggle with me, and we have 3 wonderful, great kids together. So Hannah Sutherland, that's my wife. She's she's my best friend. So we're getting it done. But yeah, man, and then I just encourage everybody to grow their own, and just do as Cortez says, do what works with you, for you, to you. I don't know. But yeah, man, it's great. It's been a pleasure being on here. It's been a blast for sure.
Oh yeah, man. We definitely got to have you back on again.
Yeah, for sure. Next time we'll have a little bit more, I'll have a little bit more information and, where you can find my seeds and stuff like that. Probably just for me still, but yeah. But anyway, for sure, dude. And happy Father's Day to everybody out there, for sure.
Well, yeah, we're definitely gonna get you back on though, man. And I want to run some of that gear of yours, so maybe we could do something like that.
Yeah, I got you.
I'll run it. Maybe we could even do like kind of like a reaction thing after I do like a grow your stuff. But we'll definitely figure that out. We'll definitely figure your family now. We'll definitely have you back.
Yeah, I got to get it in your hands soon. So I got it. I got a lot of clones hardening off. So I got a bunch of friends I'm hitting up this week. So yeah, everybody keep in touch and much love and everything. So
hell yeah. Well, all right. But until next time, guys, we are signing off.